Hi guys, and welcome to the session on Instagram marketing. What we're going to be covering in this session is understanding the audience in Instagram, why we should use it for business, optimizing your Instagram business profile, how do you do that, crafting a content strategy for your Instagram, best practices you should follow, how do you use influencer marketing on Instagram, using Boomerang and Instagram stories as well, analytics and measurement, insights on how your Instagram marketing is performing, the tools you can use for Instagram marketing, and Instagram ads. So let's get started with understanding the Instagram audience first. As we've seen with all of the social media platforms that we've covered, before you market on a platform, you first need to understand the nature of the platform, the characteristics of its audience. That's when you can market effectively. So let's look at the Instagram audience. Let's understand who the Instagram audience is, particularly in India. So what you see is a study that was conducted by Nielsen in late 2015 on the Indian Instagram audience. And what they found was, number one, Indian and Instagram are mobile first, with more than 80% of them using their phones to take pictures. Right, so it's a more premium audience. Almost all of them use only their mobile phones, since Instagram continues to be more of a mobile only platform. Unlike Facebook, you cannot post to Instagram from a desktop. You would need a mobile phone to post. Though you can access it from a desktop, you can't post from a desktop. The most active Instagrammers are in the age group 18 to 24, though now it could be up to 30 as well. I'd say probably 18 to 30 is where a large percentage of India's Instagram audience is. The audience on Instagram in India are all avid travelers, 50% of whom have taken 4 vacations in the past year. So they love travel as well. Over 50% of the Indian Instagrammers have frequently purchased products and services from brands they follow. They also tend to follow brands to keep in touch with the latest products and learn about deals that they could possibly get. Their key interests include music, travel, food, photography, technology, fashion, and sports. So this is what the study found. But to put it all together, to summarize it, the audience on Instagram is comparatively younger and more premium as compared to most social platforms out there, except Snapchat, of course, which we'll talk about in another session. Right. So when you create content for the audience on Instagram, always remember that this audience is comparatively younger. It is much more premium than most social platforms. So now we've looked at the platform and the audience. Let's understand, why should we use it for business? Why should we as marketers care to market on Instagram? So the first thing is that it is the second largest social network out there. Facebook is the largest with nearly 1.9 billion monthly active users. Instagram is the second largest at 600 million monthly active users. It is twice the size of the next two, which is Twitter and Snapchat. And its adoption has been growing quite rapidly in India as well. With so many users on it, as marketers, we need to be where our users and audience is. So Instagram is a great channel to tap into. Apart from that, the audience on Instagram also tends to connect with brands better. Unlike Facebook, where users do not really like seeing too many brand posts in their feed, on Instagram, users don't mind engaging with brand posts as long as, of course, they are visually appealing. Instagram is a very visual platform and your posts need to be visually appealing. We'll cover that in a short while from now. People also use Instagram for product research much more than they use any other social platform, which makes it a great platform for brands to engage with their audience. Also, as compared to the number of marketers who use Facebook, a comparatively much smaller number uses Instagram. This makes the platform comparatively less competitive and less crowded, due to which, as marketers, provided you market in the right way on Instagram, you could expect to see a lot better results, especially if you get in ahead of the rest. It's now that we've seen reasons why Instagram is a great platform to use for business. Again, coming back to the fundamentals, only as long as your audience is there. If your audience is not active on Instagram, it's not going to make sense for you as a business to set up a presence there and be active there. But if you have an audience that is present on the platform and is active on the platform, then we've already seen multiple reasons why you as marketers need to be there. So now that we've established that fact, let's move on to how do we use Instagram for marketing. The first thing that you would do when you choose to market on a platform is to define your objectives or choose your goals. What do you want to achieve through marketing on the platform? What exactly is your objective, or what are your objectives? So you could use Instagram to build a community of your fans or followers. You could use it to drive awareness, drive visibility for your brand, to drive engagement with your target audience, to reach and promote your products or services to potential customers, or to increase brand loyalty amongst your existing customers. People who already bought from you in the past, people who already know your brand. Driving brand advocacy from this lot. So you could choose one or multiple of these objectives and craft your strategy accordingly. So let's look at how do we do this. And it all starts with the very basic thing, which is ensuring that your Instagram profile is optimized. The first thing that you would do, if you've not already done it, is to switch your Instagram profile to a business profile. This will ensure that you get all the benefits that Instagram offers to businesses on Instagram, and your account ceases to be a personal account anymore. Right? So, those of you who have not done this already, this is something that you should do as soon as you create your business presence on Instagram. Once you do this, ensure you have your bio updated. Ensure you have a picture which is similar to your DP or display picture on Facebook. Give a good description where you will tell your audience what you do, who you are, and most importantly, why should they follow you on Instagram, right? You will give this in your bio here. Another thing that you should remember to do is that you have your website link in your bio. This is because links don't work in Instagram post captions yet. So if you give a link in your Instagram post, that is not going to be clickable. People can't click that link. So this is the only clickable link that your profile has at the moment. So ensure that you have your website link here. And let's say you have a post that you've done to your Instagram page and you've given a link there. As you can see in this post here, it says episode 79 and there's a YouTube link here, which as you can see is not clickable from the post. You cannot click this from here. And if you do something like this, what you would want to do is update this link in your profile, and then you would say, as it is here, that this link is clickable in my profile right now. So people who see this post and can't click on the link, what they could possibly do is quickly click on your business name, go to your profile page and click the link from there. So you could constantly update that website link as and when you need to, depending on whether you've given a link in your posts that you want people to click to. So now that we've gone through the basics of setting up an Instagram profile, ensuring the bio is there up to date, ensuring you have a picture, ensuring you have your website link in the bio, and also that you've converted your Instagram presence to a business profile. Let's look at how do we approach content on Instagram. How do we define a content strategy for Instagram? Before we go there, let's do a quick activity. Since by now you guys have covered a lot of the social media platforms already, and you have an idea of how do you come up with a content strategy. The fundamentals are the same. You know your audience in the platform, you know the platform, and you know what kind of a platform Instagram is. It's a very visual platform. It is a platform where the audience loves sharing pictures. It's a platform where the audience is relatively young, the audience is relatively premium. In this case, if you had to engage them as a brand, what kind of content would you post? So I'm going to give you some time. You can take about 5 to 10 minutes, pause the video, think through it, think through your brand, who your brand is, what does your brand stand for, who your audience is, what kind of posts would you like to do to speak to them, to talk to them, to communicate with them, to engage with them. So think through all this, use your pen and paper, which I hope you kept by your side, and note down at least 5 content categories that you would post, then come back and restart this. Right, go ahead guys, please do this. Alright guys, welcome back. So hope you guys have brainstormed, thought through what you would post for your audience. Let's take a look at some possible content themes that you could look at. Of course, it will vary from audience to audience, business to business, brand to brand. But these are some generic content themes that most of you would be able to pick at least some from. So you can see what, if there's something that you already wrote that matches what you see on the screen now. So you could do something that's educational. For example, let's say the best social media tips. If your audience is a social media marketing audience or an audience that is using social media for business, something that educates them, right? Something that is inspirational, something that motivates them. If you're a brand that has a lot of behind the scenes content that your audience would be interested in, but they do not get to see anywhere else, content that is exclusive. And it could be, for example, how your product is made, something that they would not get to see anywhere else, anything that happens behind the scenes, right? Product demos, showcasing products, anything that is culture focused, what is the culture in your company, showcasing the human side of your brand, any content that is fun and lighthearted, humorous as well. User generated content, this is content that you get your users in your audience to create for you. We look at a lot of examples of these, and this works really well, especially on a platform like Instagram. Instagram is a platform that can be either public or private. You can choose to have your Instagram account private, you can also choose to keep it public. And since a good number of Instagram users keep it public, a lot of their posts are publicly visible when you search for hashtags that they could have probably or possibly used. And this helps you find content about you or mentioning you, your company, your product that your users have posted. Now don't worry, for those of you who this is a new term, we'll be looking at a lot of examples as we go further on what exactly user generated content or UGC is and how does it benefit a brand. You can also post customer stories and testimonials where you have delighted customers talking about how your product or your service has helped them. So these are some possible content themes that you could use. Of course, there are a lot more that you could brainstorm depending on your audience and your brand. So as we said, Instagram is a very visual platform. Unlike, let's say, Facebook, where you can have text updates or link updates, on Instagram, you can't post text statuses, you can't post links, you can only post images or videos. So it's a very, very visual platform. That's why as brands, you need to produce great visuals on Instagram if you're active on it, because only then you will see results. Otherwise, your content would stand out like a sore thumb on Instagram, because everything on Instagram is so visual, so glossy, that if your content is not up to the mark, it will just not make an impact. So like I said, unlike Facebook visuals, which are more candid and casual, Instagram is the absolute opposite. Instagram images are filtered, they are glossy, they're completely different from most run-of-the-mill Facebook images. So on Instagram, either you have to ensure that your images stand out, or you might as well just step away and not use Instagram as a platform. So how do you make your content stand out? How do you ensure that it is on par, if not better than all other images that users see in their feed? One thing that you could do is use the built-in Instagram filters. So Instagram has these filters that you can apply to your images to make them look better. Like what you see in the picture here. You have an image on the left, the original image, and the image on the right is filtered. Makes it look much better than the one on the left. That filter edit that you do to your image makes it look glossier than it was originally. And that's something you could do to ensure that your images are awesome. Apart from this, you can also use third-party apps to elevate your photos. So there are 3 apps that you see on the screen. You can use any one of these. You have VSCO, Cam, Snapseed, and Afterlight. These are apps that you can use to ensure that your images are given sufficient markup before they go on Instagram. One important thing that you guys should note here is that once you figure out which editing style is working really well for your photos, try to stick to the same editing style right through. This will ensure that your whole Instagram feed looks cohesive. It will help build better brand recall for you. So let's look at different content categories you could explore with some examples from each. So you can post high quality product images to Instagram, but as I said, ensure it is high quality. So this is an example here. This is from Chumbak, where you can see their product image, bright, colorful, stands out in the feed. And this is an example of a product image that a brand has posted on Instagram. You could also post content based on what your brand stands for. For example, this is a post from Nike Running, and as a brand, what they stand for is about sportsmanship, challenges, athletics, and you can see their content echoing those brand attributes. So that's something else that you could try depending on what your brand attributes are or depending on what your brand stands for. Whatever you do, ensure that it is either inspirational or motivational so that it can connect with your audience. You can also leverage what we just talked about a little while ago, UGC or user generated content. So this is content like we discussed, which is created by your audience and you then post it on your page. This works for both users as well as for brands. Users get to have their content showcased on brand pages, and brands get free content that they can post without having to create it. So it's a win-win for both, which is why this really works. So let's take a look at an example here. So this is Cafe Coffee Day, where a user has been to CCD. I'm sure we all have been to CCD at some point. So user went to CCD and posted this picture on their Instagram, which CCD then picked up because they might have used the hashtag CCD or Cafe Coffee Day. So CCD must have looked at all users who are using this hashtag, must have found this user and requested them if they can share this post on their own Instagram profile. So you can see here it says shared by Srivatsan987 in the post caption, and then CCD has reshared this content which was originally posted on Instagram by one of its users, right? So this is how brands on Instagram leverage content that its users have generated. This is another example. This is from Taj Hotels. It's a video. It says the pristine beaches and tranquil waters of Taj Maldives captured by the user whose handle is at Spectator Seema, and then Taj has reposted it on its Instagram profile. Another thing about reposting on Instagram is that you cannot, unlike Facebook or Twitter where you can share or retweet, you don't have that option on Instagram. If you want to repost somebody's content, you would have to use the repost app, which is a third-party app that allows you to repost content on Instagram. Apart from this, content that users relate to always works, as we've seen in the session on Facebook as well. Anything that people connect to, anything that makes them feel something, anything that draws an emotional connect always works. So this is an example from Zomato. A post that they posted to their Instagram page on New Year's, where they say New Year resolutions, expectation versus reality. Again, it's something that most people connect to. On a New Year, you resolve that, okay, I'm going to eat healthy, I will only eat salads. But what really happens is what you see on the right, something that you immediately see and connect to. And so this is again content that works on social networks and something you could try for Instagram as well. Of course, it has to be visually good. It has to visually stand out. Like we already discussed, Instagram is a visual platform and your content has to be visually very, very appealing. You could also get influencers and bloggers. Now, who are these influencers? They are people on Instagram with huge following. You could always reach out to them, those who have the same target audience as you. Influencers who could help you reach out to your potential target audience, and you could request them to help you create content. For example, here, this is Chumbak, who has reached out to an influencer and got her to create content for them with one of their products. So this is also something that you could do. In this case, what Chumbak is doing in effect is reaching out to her network and her followers as well, and in the process promoting the brand. So this is something that you could try out as well. Alright, so let's take a look at a content case study. Let's look at Cafe Coffee Day and do a detailed analysis of the kind of content they've done and learn from it as well. So throughout their profile, you will find visually appealing images of their products. Right? You can see these images are again very, very visually appealing. They've been made, filtered, and edited specifically for a visual platform like Instagram. They're not simple, dull, run-of-the-mill images. So as we already discussed, all your product images need to be something like what you see here, if not even better than this. More examples of visually appealing product images that they've used. They've also used, or rather made creative use of Instagram's grid layout. So when you open Instagram on your phone and when you look at any profile, you would see all their posts in a grid where you have rows of 3 images. So lots of brands have leveraged this grid layout to tell a story or to do something creative. So you can see this, CCD has done it multiple times. If you go to their profile and keep scrolling by, you will see stuff like this. Right? This was something they did for Christmas. Started building a Christmas tree, image by image, and over 12 posts, they built the whole tree. So lots of examples of how they've used the Instagram grid layout very creatively. They also have a lot of content that engages their audience. For example, content like this, which is completely engagement oriented, and you can see the engagement there as well. You have 150 people who have commented on the image. Similarly, here's another one, another engagement driven post where you're getting people to come, engage, drive conversation, comments on your posts. We spoke about leveraging user generated content, and we can see how CCD has leveraged this very, very effectively. Right? So they've used a lot of these user generated posts that have use the hashtag coffee with a view, right? So even the caption says, check out this great shot by Tanveer Super, share your best coffee with a view photos with us. Right? And you can see a lot of users actually sharing their coffee with a view photos, and CCD has been using it on their Instagram profile. As I said, this works for both. So the user is happy that a brand like CCD is showcasing their image on the CCD profile, and CCD is also happy because they get good quality images that their users have created and something they can use. It's more like getting users to create content for you for free. So that's one example. This is another one of them using UGC, where they say doodle your favorite coffee moments and you could get featured on the CCD profile, and it says CC doodles. That's the hashtag you have to use. So you can see this. It says doodle image shared by one of CCD's fan. So just to summarize from the CCD case study that we just saw, apart from all the things they do, some of the things that they've done really well are visually appealing product images that we saw, creative use of Instagram's grid layout, something that looks really cool, engaging content such as quizzes and anything else that drives the audience to engage with you, comment on your posts, and effectively leveraging, in fact I'd say very effectively leveraging user generated content. Right? So lots of interesting examples there and things that we could learn as well and apply to the content strategy for our brands. So let's look at some of the best practices for Instagram marketing. The first one is the importance of hashtags to reach targeted audiences. Just like Twitter, hashtags work very well on Instagram as well. Hashtags are a great way to get your content in front of people who are not following you otherwise. So a lot of Instagram users use hashtags and follow hashtags. So when you use a hashtag in your post content, there's a good chance that that post will be seen by a lot more people than just your followers. Right? So always ensure that you use hashtags in your posts. And if you want to reach a really engaged audience, then try and ensure that you use specific hashtags and not just generic ones. You can also do a simple search for a hashtag in the Instagram search bar, and Instagram will give you the number of posts that have been done with that hashtag as well as with similar hashtags that you could use. This will give you an idea of the popularity of the hashtag and how many people are using it. So if you want to reach more relevant targeted audiences, you might want to use more niche hashtags that only those audiences would follow. And Instagram allows you up to 30 hashtags in your caption or your first comment. So use as many relevant ones as you can. Relevant is underlined there because using hashtags that are irrelevant would get you or get your content in front of what could possibly be the wrong audience or not the exact audience that you want to connect with. In this case, they will not engage, and when they don't engage, your future reach could be impacted. Right? Instagram also has an algorithm very similar to Facebook. I'm sure most of you by now are pros at the Facebook algorithm. So just like Facebook has an algorithm which filters what users see in their feed, Instagram has an algorithm as well. And if your engagement drops or if people don't really engage with your content, in the long term, your organic reach on Instagram will only drop. Right? So always ensure that when using hashtags, use relevant ones. So your content only lands up in front of relevant audiences and they engage with it. Irrelevant audiences, which will come from irrelevant hashtags, will only reduce engagement on your post and in the process, like we said, reduce your organic reach in the long term. So how do you find the right hashtags? How do you know which are the right hashtags to use? What you could possibly do first is check out what hashtags your competitors are using. That'll give you an idea of what's working, what's not. You can also look at what influencers in your industry are using and try and use those or similar hashtags. And always consider related hashtags. When you browse through posts containing one hashtag, which is already working for you, you can see what are the other hashtags that people are using along with it. Because that will give you an idea of what are the other related hashtags that you could possibly use in your posts to reach the right audience. Right? And also use Instagram search function that I just showed you in the previous slide. Instagram search function itself will give you a good idea of what are the other related hashtags and also what is the total number of posts that have been done with that hashtag. Next, let's look at content frequency and timing. How frequently should you post to Instagram and at what time should you ideally post? Okay. So just as we've seen with any social network where the feed is algorithmic, you should only post when you have awesome content to share. Right? We've already seen this even in the Facebook session. When you have awesome content, your users will engage with it. When more and more users keep engaging with your content will get more reach, more visibility in the feed. If you post average content, you're only going to hurt yourself in the long term. Right? So always ensure that you post as frequently as you have awesome content to share. There is no rule that you have to post twice a day on Instagram or once a day on Instagram. Whenever you have something great to share is when you should ideally post. And what I'd recommend is to try to generate this awesome content at least twice a week. It might take some effort to come up with really awesome stuff twice a week, but that's what will get you results. That's what will get you reach and engagement and visibility. So that's something that you should focus on. Also maintain uniformity and a constant publishing frequency. Not that you publish twice a week for 1 month and then for the next 2 weeks you don't post anything. Ensure you're consistent in your posting and you have a more or less constant publishing frequency. Right, so that's about frequency. Regarding timing, as we've always seen, the best approach is to test different times and see which works best for you to get you maximum engagement. Right? Doesn't matter as much as frequency, but if you want to optimize for the best times, you can always test different times and see what works. Alright, so that's about the content frequency and timing. On Instagram, you can also run contests, giveaways, and promotions. This will help you build buzz around your brand, engage with your target audience, and also drive follower growth. Also, when launching contests on Instagram, always ensure that you use contest-related hashtags such as hashtag contest, competition, win, giveaway, free, freebie, like you've seen these guys using as well. That helps you get traction for your contest and also reach a lot more people who might be interested in taking part. You can also leverage the reach of influencers on Instagram to drive awareness and visibility about your brand. So what you see on the screen is two examples. The one on the left is an influencer who stayed at a hotel and then posted pictures from her stay there. So what this does is her large following gets to know about the hotel, about the facilities, and about the experience she had there. Similarly, the one on the right is a post from Siddharth Joshi, who is one of India's leading travel bloggers. What you can see here is a post that he's done of one of Club Mahindra's properties in Finland. So how this would have worked is Club Mahindra as a brand would have reached out to Siddharth Joshi and said, hey, we have a new property that we've got in Finland and we want you to partner with us and showcase our property and the facilities that we have there in our resort or hotel on your Instagram profile and on your blog with your followers. And we will then compensate you either monetarily or give you a free trip and stay at our Finland property. So Sir Joshi then posts pictures and his experiences on his blog and Instagram with his followers, and this drives more and more awareness and visibility for the brand. Right? So in your industry, you could always look for specific influencers, people on Instagram with large followings who could help you get in front of your target audience. So let's look at an influencer-driven campaign case study. This one's from Flipkart. They launched a campaign called Never Ending Trending, and they leveraged the reach of influencers to drive buzz around the campaign. So this campaign called Never Ending Trending required people on Instagram to post pictures of themselves wearing different fashion styles or looks. They would then describe the style on their Instagram post caption. For example, if I posted a picture wearing a floral print shirt, I would then describe the style as floral prints, and I would nominate a friend who would then have to wear some fashion style which begins with the letter T, because floral print ends with T. They would have to wear some fashion style or clothing that begins with the letter T and then post a picture to Instagram. And then they would nominate someone else. So for example, if I nominate a friend and she had to wear something with the letter T, it could be, for example, a tank top. Right? So this chain would then continue, as in one would nominate another, and it would be a never-ending chain of fashion and taxation. So this is the campaign that they launched. They also launched a contest around this to drive even more buzz and virality. You can watch this video to give you an even better understanding of how the campaign and the contest worked. So go ahead and watch the video now and then come back. Great guys, so now that you've seen that video, this is the post for the contest launch, where they said that users would have to follow Flipkart on Instagram, check out the trends spotted by the fashion icons in the Never Ending Trending video, and then capture screenshots of products from Flipkart to complete the fashion icons look. They would then share these screenshots on their profile, tag Flipkart, the fashion icon, and the hashtag Never Ending Trending, and the best looks would then win Flipkart vouchers. Right? So to give you an even better understanding into it again, this is a video from the first fashion icon they nominated, which was Ranvijay Singh. So go ahead and watch this video and then come back. So as you just saw, Ranvijay Singh wore a floral print shirt, posted a picture wearing it on Instagram, and then nominated another influencer to post something with the letter S, because floral prints ends in S. And what users had to do was find products on Flipkart that would go with this shirt that he's wearing, screenshot it and post it with the hashtag and also tagging Flipkart and Ranvijay Singh in it, and they could win vouchers. So this contest also drove buzz around the entire campaign, getting people to take part and also nominate their friends to play this game of a never-ending trend Antakshari. Eventually what happened was a lot of user-generated content, a lot of posts. You can see this is the result for all the posts with the hashtag. So they have about 450 posts that were done with the hashtag. And you can see a lot of user content on the right there, where people have either taken pictures of actual looks of products or screenshots from the Flipkart site and put it up. So this is an example of a campaign on Instagram that leveraged a contest and also the reach of fashion influencers in this case to drive buzz around it, engage with people, interact with them, and in the process, drive brand awareness and visibility for the brand with its target audience. Right? So when you want to drive engagement around a campaign or contest you are running, you could also see how you could partner with influencers who are relevant to your audience or who are relevant to your industry and leverage their existing reach on Instagram to enhance the reach of your overall campaign. Great, so let's move on to the next section, which is Boomerang videos and Instagram stories. For those of you who are new to the Boomerang concept, Boomerang is an Instagram app that takes a quick series of photos of a single moment and then merges them to form a video that plays in loop. Those of you who have created Boomerang videos would know. Those of you who have not, you can watch this video to give you an idea of what Boomerang videos turn out to look like. So you can watch this video and come back. Great guys, so apart from using the Boomerang app to make these fun videos, you can also do them from within the Instagram app when you're creating an Instagram story. We'll come back to Instagram stories in a short while, but when you try creating a story, you have the Boomerang option there, and you can create a Boomerang video from within Instagram itself. So you can either use the Boomerang app, which is a standalone app that Instagram has created, or you can use this feature from within the Instagram app itself. So just to give you some use cases of how do we use Boomerang or how could we use Boomerang for our business profiles and pages, you could use it to showcase your products better, like what you see here. So this is a Boomerang video which then plays in loop. So when you use the Boomerang app to shoot this, it takes a series of pictures, quick pictures, and merges them together to form a video like this that keeps playing forward and backward. So it makes your product more prominent in the feed. Right, here is another one. This again is a Boomerang video of a product. So videos like these can make your products stand out in the feed, and you can also come up with creative ideas of how you could use Boomerang to showcase your product. So here are some more examples of brands using Boomerang videos. So this will give you an idea of what you could possibly do and think through what you could do with Boomerang videos for your brand. Instagram stories are another relatively new feature that brands can use to engage with their audiences on Instagram. Those of you who are not very familiar with Instagram stories, these are kind of status updates that users put out on Instagram, which last only 24 hours. So somebody puts out a status update today and I don't see or I don't open it until tomorrow, it would be gone. I would not see it after that. So these are time sensitive updates or disappearing content. This is something that Instagram copied from Snapchat. So let's look at how do we utilize this feature as brands. We look at it through an example from Buffer. So this is a video where Buffer has used Instagram stories to stitch together different pieces of content around a single theme. So what Buffer has done here is it has used Instagram stories as a way to communicate interesting bits of information to its followers. So there are different stories all around a certain theme, and each story has one fun fact in it. Users could then scroll through all stories and get all fun facts about this particular event. So this is something that you could do as well if you want to communicate information to your audiences. You could do it in bite-sized pieces, each being one story. You could also look at how you can do engaging videos on Instagram stories that could drive engagement with your audience. Videos on Instagram stories are currently 10 seconds long, and you can see how you can play around with either a short video or a series of short videos to engage with your audience. It's a relatively new feature and most brands are still playing around to see how they can use it effectively. So it's something that you could try out as well and see the kind of traction you get with your audience. So now that we've seen how we can use Boomerang videos and Instagram stories to drive engagement with our audience, let's summarize the techniques on how we can build an engaged following for our brands on Instagram. The first thing here is something that's common across all social platforms, and that is to post awesome, valuable content. If the content that you post does not add value to your followers on a platform, everything else is going to fall apart. So this forms the basis of everything else. Always ensure that your content adds value to the audience on the platform. Post consistently. That's important. As we said, consistency is the key. That's when your audience begins connecting with you. As they keep seeing content from you that keeps adding value to them, that connection and that bond between you and your audience, or your brand and your audience, grows stronger and stronger. Run contests and giveaways. These are great ways to engage with your audience, and as part of that engagement, you will also grow your following. Include relevant hashtags. We've already discussed this on how hashtags are critical to getting your post in front of an audience that would not see it otherwise, getting your post in front of an audience that is not currently following you. This not only increases your organic reach, but also increase your follower count, because you're putting your content in front of potentially new audiences. There's a good chance that they might follow you as well. Next is to engage with users in your niche. So find people who are relevant to you, find your target audience on Instagram, engage with them, like their pictures, engage them in conversation, and that's when you get your brand in front of them, and some of them might end up following you back. Next is to leverage user-generated content. UGC is a great way to get your target audience to come engage with you and follow you as well. If you have a big enough fan following on other social networks, then you can ask them to come and follow you on Instagram too. That is another way you can leverage your followers on other platforms to grow your Instagram following. And last, follow relevant users. This works similar to how Twitter works as well, where you follow relevant users and a percentage of them would come and follow you back. So that way you build a targeted and a relevant following as well. Right, so this is a summary of techniques and ways you can grow your following on Instagram. We'll now move on to Instagram ads. How do you run ads on Instagram to promote your posts, to reach out to more people, to reach out to newer audiences, to drive enhanced brand awareness and visibility, or to drive sales of your product as well. So as most of you would remember from the Facebook ads session, Facebook ads, since Facebook owns Instagram, also allows you to place ads on Instagram. So in this case, you can create an ad using the Facebook Ads Manager and have them placed on Instagram. This is the most common way to run Instagram ads. Also quite powerful since it leverages Facebook's extremely powerful ad targeting options. You guys have already seen in the Facebook ad session how powerful Facebook ads can possibly get. The kind of power that Facebook ads gives advertisers. Absolutely niche, precise, accurate, and powerful targeting. So when you run ads on Instagram through the Facebook Ads Manager tool, there are a lot of advantages that you get there. But what if you have a post on Instagram itself? Let's say you posted something to your Instagram profile and you want to promote that. In that case, that's not something you can do through the Facebook Ads Manager. Through Facebook Ads, you can boost or promote a Facebook post on Instagram, but you can't promote an Instagram post itself as of now. So in this case, what you would do is use the Instagram ads option itself. So on your business profiles or pages on Instagram, when you click on the manage button, you will see a create promotion option. Once you click on that, it will ask you what your objective is. You have two objectives you can choose here. Either you want people to visit your website or you want them to call or visit your business. You can select whichever one is applicable to you at that point. And once you do that, it will open up the options where you can choose your call to action button. You can choose your target audience. You can choose your budget and the duration of the ad campaign. The call to action button, these are the options that Instagram currently gives you. Learn more, watch more, shop now, book now, sign up and contact us. And under the audience targeting, you can either let Instagram automatically create an audience based on who Instagram thinks might be interested in your business, or you can define your own target audience. So when you click on create your own target audience here, you will see this screen where you can choose your location. You can only choose interests here, age and gender. So targeting here is very basic, very unlike Facebook Ads Manager targeting. This is all the Instagram ads currently allows you. So as of now, unless you really want to promote a post on Instagram itself, it might be better to use the Facebook Ads Manager to place ads on Instagram, since your targeting is much more powerful there than it is here. But as I said, if the use case is to promote something on your Instagram profile or on your Instagram page, then you might want to follow this process, right? So that's about the ads on Instagram. Next, we'll move on to analytics and measurement, which again is critical. When you're investing resources into Instagram marketing, you need to know the kind of results you're getting, right? How effective is your Instagram marketing? Are you meeting your objectives or are you not? Are you achieving your goals, yes or no? All this comes from Instagram Insights. So on your business profiles, you will see these this graph symbol on the top right corner, as you see in the image here. When you click on that, that will open up the Instagram Insights. Here you can see how many impressions your posts are getting, which are your top posts, if you have any stories, which are your stories that you did, analytics for them. You can also see what time your followers are active most on which days of the week. So this will probably give you a good idea of what could possibly be a better time to post. But as we already said, if you want to find out the best time to post, the only way to do it is to test different times and see what works. But this would give you an idea on what times to test. All the ads and promotions that you created, the ads that we just went through, once you create them on Instagram, all the active ads will show here. You can also see who your followers are, your follower demographics, what is their age, what is the gender breakup, where are they from, which cities or countries. You can also see which days of the week your followers are online. So that's the data that you get from Instagram Insights. Not as comprehensive as Facebook. Facebook has one of the most comprehensive insights as compared to any other social media platform out there. Instagram Insights should improve as well as the platform continues to grow and mature, and as more and more marketers and advertisers start using it, the kind of insights that we could expect to get from here might also improve. Right now, this is all we get, but it's still fairly good enough to estimate the results that we're getting out of the efforts that we're putting in. There are also some tools for Instagram analytics to get some more advanced analytics, which we'll talk about in the next section, which is Instagram marketing tools that we can use to make our lives as Instagram marketers much easier. So the first tool that you have is a tool called Schedulegram, which is to schedule your Instagram posts. It's a paid tool, not free. You can schedule Instagram posts with the tools that you use for other channels as well, such as Hootsuite. The only difference is in Hootsuite, the scheduling does not happen automatically because the Instagram API doesn't allow it that way. So what happens with Hootsuite is once you schedule your post to Hootsuite, it will send you a notification on your phone at the time the post needs to go out, and only when you accept the notification does the post get scheduled. So it's an extra step in the process. With Schedulegram, that extra step is eliminated, so the posts go out directly. If you're looking for more advanced Instagram analytics than what the Instagram Insights give you, then there are a couple of tools that you could try. Both of them again are paid. One is Iconosquare and the other is Sprout Social. These give you more advanced analytics than you would get from Instagram Insights. Some of the additional metrics that Sprout Social allows you to track are your top posts, which are the posts that are doing really well. That's not something that you have in Instagram Insights at the moment. How is your audience growing, your follower growth, your publishing behavior, which is how frequently and at what times have you been posting, and what is your engagement been accordingly, the performance of the hashtags that you've been using, and also the engagement rates with your audience. Is your engagement growing month on month? Is it dropping? That's the data that this tool will also help you out with. Great guys, so with that we've come to the end of the Instagram marketing session. Thanks guys, see you again in the next lesson. Thank you.